welcome back to my channel. So I was doing a DIY kind of thing that was inspired by a friend of mine. Her name is Chevy, and she had done a salt dough with her son, and I thought it was really cool. She's got her own, she just recently started her own YouTube channel. So I went and subscribed to that for her just to show her some support. And so I was watching her video, and she had made her salt dough, and I was like, oh, I'm going to do that with my son. And then I realized as I made some ornaments for family members later on, that I probably should have recorded it. So I'll link her channel down below, so you can, you know, look at her videos, give her a thumbs up, subscribe to her channel. But yeah, I have already made a few, and I'm going to take this and show you guys. I made a little candy cane. I did a handprint of my son. I did a footprint, and I have a little Christmas tree. And I had just cut out a little gingerbread man when I was like, oh, well, I'm going to record this. So I'm going to show you guys everything that I have and how I made my dough. You can definitely find your own either on YouTube, through Chevy, through her channel, or on Pinterest. That's where I found mine. The one that I had found had called for 4 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1.25 cups of water. I thought that was going to make a lot, so I did 2 cups of flour, 1 cup of salt, and 1 cup or so of water. My dough is a little bit thicker than what Chevy's looked like, but that's okay. So, you know, the other things that I have are a spatula. It's really thin, so it gets under the dough really well. I have a straw and a chopstick. That's what I used on the candy cane and the Christmas tree. And then I used the straw on the the handprint and the footprint. For the smaller ones, I'm using the small end of my chopstick. It does have a bigger end, obviously. And then for the handprint and the footprint, I used the straw. Because it was a little bit bigger, and I was just able to use it, and it was pretty easy to just get the little piece that got stuck out by blowing in it. I also have a butter knife that I used to cut out the handprint and the footprint. I have a rolling pin. Chevy ended up using a bottle of hairspray, which was pretty innovative. And then I have different cookie cutters. I have different sizes of these gingerbread men. I have the tree, obviously. You guys saw that one. I have a star, little star. And then I have, you know, a fall leaf. And then I have what looks like a pumpkin. But it was in my Christmas cookie cutter. And then I've got 3 other sizes of gingerbread men. I hope you saw those. I hope you could have seen those. So, you know, I just went ahead and I was making them, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to finish recording it. You are going to need flour to flour your work surface, otherwise the salt dough may stick. Sorry. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the hole for the gingerbread man. I'm actually going to put the hole in his hand because it just kind of seemed morbid to put it in his head. So I'm going to do that, and almost like piercing an ear. Make sure it doesn't, you know, break off, and you got your little hole there. Just put that on your either your parchment lined baking sheet, or I have aluminum foil. And so I'm gonna knock a couple more of these out. I will probably have my fiance bring over our son to do another handprint and another footprint. So you guys will see him maybe. So I'm rolling these probably, if you're gonna do a handprint and a footprint, probably between 1/4 inch and 1/2 inch, depending on the age of your children. If you've got little children, less than, you know, a year, maybe 2 years, you can help them and, you know, push their hand in, obviously pretty gently, but pretty firmly. But if you've got a little itty bitty like me, he's probably 6, almost 7 months maybe. And if you're gonna do a small child who's between, you know, newborn to a year, about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch, because then you can kind of determine where their handprint is gonna sit and how firmly to press it in and everything like that. But if you've got older children, probably anywhere from 1/2 inch to 1 inch, because they're gonna want to press down pretty hard. So I am actually going to have Jonathan come over with our son, and I'm going to do another handprint and another footprint real quick, because we are probably going to be giving some family members these little hand and feet print with his name and some colors. So we're going to do his footprint first, which is going to be right in here. You're going to press down pretty firmly. Make sure you get their toes. Okay, pull up. Perfect. And then his little hand, it's got slobbers on it. So if they've got slobber on their hands, just wipe it off, and then you're going to spread the hand. He's trying to grab the cookie cutters. And press down pretty firmly. Just make sure you don't use just one finger on their hand, because that could possibly hurt them. So just kind of, all right, there we go. And those are good, thank you. And then with that, you know, we have, I'm gonna take this, and you can see his little handprint and then his little footprint. His little thumb almost went all the way through because he was trying to grab it. And so then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take my knife and go around it, but leave a little bit at the top so I can put the hole for the string or yarn that I'm gonna put on it after the paint has dried. So I'm gonna cut those out. Again, leaving a little bit at the top for the hole. Just being very careful not to hit, I'm cutting the footprint out right now, and I'm being very careful not to actually hit the footprint itself. And then being careful not to hit the handprint as well. So now I'm going to cut out the handprint, same thing, leaving a little bit at the top. And I kind of just rough cut these out really quick and then get the extra dough out of the way. And then kind of, if I need to go back and take a little bit more off, I can. So put that with the other dough. take a little bit more off there. Like where his little thumb was. Little bit more off of the side. Don't really want to take any more off on the top, just to make sure, you know, that the straw has enough area. So I'm gonna do that, and then see, I was able to get that little piece out and add it to my other dough. So then I take my spatula, and even though I had floured my workspace beforehand, or my counter beforehand, it does stick a little bit. So you want to make sure when you know, pick up your handprint, your footprint of your kids, really kind of get in there and push pieces back in, because it can with the butter knife fray it a little bit almost. And I'll show you with the footprint that it, you know, it kind of made it a little funky on the outsides. And then, you know, there's the little hole, and then his little footprint. And it's just a lot of fun for the kids to do. I have to make more room on my cookie sheet. I might get a second baking sheet. I'm going to take these ones off to put these ones on because they are thicker. So I want to make sure that they get as much time in the oven. And they do, if you're making quite a few at one time, they do tend to dry out just a little bit, which is totally fine. You know, and so I have my baking sheet, and it's lined with the aluminum foil. And then I have the handprints and feet print. So depending on how you have set your oven time or your oven heat to, you know, if it's at 200, it takes between 3 and 4 hours. If it's at 250, maybe, you know, 3.5, 2.5 maybe. You want them to be kind of golden brown to an almost brown color. So yeah, you know, when you make them, it's just a lot of fun for kids, and they make really great presents, especially for grandparents, maybe some friends who have some kids. You know, I'm gonna paint his little handprints, and then I'm probably gonna do like a little snowman type thing for his feet prints, and then I'm gonna put his name and the year on it. So, you know, all of the stuff that we make for grandparents or family members, they know what year those little handprints and feet prints were made. So that is about it. I'm gonna go ahead and make some more. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and then check out Chevy's channel. I'm gonna link that below too, because she's almost exclusively doing DIY things on her channel. So go ahead and check her out if you like a lot of the DIY. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!